Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy Friday night. Long day of work, but my back's holding up. So that's all that matters right now, is that I don't feel too bad. So välkommen tillbaka, tack för sist. I'll get right into what I'm going to do today. So I've been kind of heavy on some of these videos, you know, the religion stuff, and just, I mean, it's interesting to me, and hopefully it's interesting to you, but tonight I thought I'd lighten it up a little bit and kind of go back to a story from my youth. And my wife reminded me of this because I've told her this story several times. So I was probably 13 to 15, somewhere in that range when this happened. So keep that in mind. Dumb kids. Try not to judge me too harshly. You also got to remember, I grew up in a rural little town in Canada. This is in the 70s. Very different time. And pellet guns were huge. All us kids had pellet guns. I don't remember when I first got one. Probably around 12, I'm guessing, 11, 12, something like that. We used to go shoot gophers a lot. The farmers would actually hire us to shoot gophers. I don't shoot anything anymore. I feel bad shooting anything now. I feel bad that I shot gophers back then. But at the time, by the way, it is Friday night, so skål. At the time, it was a totally normal thing. There was actually this, if you know what implements are, so farmers buy, you know, combines and tractors and swathers and all this stuff, and they buy them from implement dealers. And there was this guy in the little town we grew up, I think it was called Milliken Farm Supplies. And he actually paid us to shoot the gophers because they would get into all the equipment, all the farm equipment, and they, you know, basically set up nests in there. I mean, gophers don't set up nests, but you know what I mean. They'd get into the pipes. They'd just be in the way all the time. So my buddy and I went down there. Barry was his name. And we had our pellet guns. Like I said, I want to say I was around 13 or 14. He was a year younger than me. So he was 12 or 13. And we went down there, and the guy that owned the place said he would pay us 25 cents for every gopher we shot. And we didn't have to bring the gophers to him. We just had to bring the tails to him. And I know that's a little morbid, but it was a very different time. It just was not a big deal. So my buddy and I decided we were going to have a contest, see who could shoot the most gophers. And it was a lot. I mean, they were everywhere back then. I'm sure they still are. You know, a lot of farmers don't like gophers. They dig holes, cows step in the holes, you know, that kind of thing. And this guy just didn't want them around his equipment. So we had been there all day long, and we were tied. If this is not for you, I understand. Tune out. It's all good. Come back for the next video. Just keep in mind, this is a long time ago. This is 50 years ago. We were tied. I can't remember exactly how many, but it was probably 40 or 50 gophers each. And the sun was starting to go down. We're like, we should probably get out of here. The guy might have even told us, you guys got to wrap it up. I don't remember. But we saw this gopher. People also call these pot guts, and they're kind of like squirrels, but they're more like rats than squirrels. They're just pests. Anyway, we see this gopher run into an irrigation pipe about that big around. So probably 4 or 5 inch pipe. And like I said, we were tied and we both wanted to win. So I was using darts at the time. So in pellet guns, you can use pellets, obviously, but you can also use these little darts that have like tiny little feathers on them. You put them in the chamber, you shoot them, and you can usually retrieve them. so you can reuse them, whereas pellets, you know, one and done. Not that they cost a lot of money, but for whatever reason, I was using darts. So we see this gopher run into this pipe, probably a 40 or 50 foot long pipe. And Barry goes to one end, I go to the other. Oh, this is so bad. And I tell him, I said, okay, I'm taking him, Barry. I'm taking him. He's like, no, I got it. And we saw him, the gopher run into the middle, and I put my pellet gun in there. This, you know, as I'm telling this story, this is really bad. Anyway, I shot my dart. You got to remember, pellet guns are not very powerful. I mean, they can't really hurt, you know, they can't hurt a lot. Gophers are about as big a thing as they could take down, but I told him I'm shooting, and I shot, and I heard this scream. And wow, some of you are going to tune out here and think I'm some sort of psychopath, but I swear this was just normal back then. Barry stands up, and he's got a dart sticking right out of his forehead. It went right through the gopher. Luckily, it slowed down a lot going through the gopher. I'm not sure if I should even post this video, but he stands up, and he kind of made a squeal when it happened, but then he just stands up and I'm like, holy crap. He's like, what? And I'm like, the dart is in your forehead, dude. And he plucks it out of his forehead. It was barely in. I mean, by the time it went through the gopher, there was just no speed left, but there was enough to poke it into his forehead, and he was bleeding pretty good. So, you know, he pulled the little dart out. I think we called it a tie because, you know, I felt bad. But now the big thing is, what are we going to tell our parents? You know, why does your forehead have a puncture in it? And as I'm telling this story, I'm like, should I be telling this story? But you know what? It's just one of those things that sticks in your head forever. And nobody got hurt. It was all fine. But we knew if our parents found out that one of us had shot the other one, they were going to take our pellet guns. No question. They'd just be gone. Probably never get them back again. And they'd probably be right. So we decided that we were going to make up this story that we were climbing. And this actually goes back to a real story that happened to me. So I was walking home from the river bottom once. I think I was with a friend. But there were cows, and specifically this big bull that was outside the fence, and it scared the hell out of me. Bulls can be very unpredictable. Cows, they're nothing. You know, you rarely have to worry about a cow, but a bull, they can be very predictable or unpredictable and dangerous, actually. So I climbed this big fence to get away from it, and as I fell, as I got to the top, it had this barbed wire on the top, kind of on an angle, kind of like you've seen probably around prisons or something. I don't know why this farmer had this, but it was like a 7 or 8 foot tall fence with this angled barbed wire. And as I fell, it caught my inner thigh. And I still have a big scar on my inner thigh that's probably 5 or 6 inches long. It caught and it ripped it wide open. I got home. My mom thought I was dying. There was blood everywhere. I was fine. But that story led me to tell Barry, hey, let's say that we climbed over the fence and you fell and caught your head. It was perfect for barbed wire. If you're familiar with barbed wire, it's just like it had poked him right in the head. And that's what we ended up saying, and nobody questioned it. Needless to say, we never, and by the way, just so you don't think I'm just the nut job here, he was doing the same thing. He was putting his pellet gun down to shoot at the same time as me. I just happened to shoot first. So I hope you don't unfollow me for this story, but it was the 70s and we were kids with pellet guns. You'll shoot your eye out. When I see that movie now, Christmas Story, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies, by the way, and it's weird because my wife hates it. She thinks it's just stupid. But I love Ralphie and the whole thing. So when I see that, when he shoots his BB gun, Red Ryder BB gun, and it ricochets and hits him right above his eye, I always think about my buddy Barry. And he ended up going on to train canine dogs for the RCMP. If you're familiar with Canada, it's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And he was a badass, and he just took it in stride and, you know, didn't blame me, wasn't mad at me. We were still buddies. We just had a cool story to tell forever. So I hope you take it that way. I hope you take it as a cool story. Skål. And don't think I'm a nut job. I'm really not. In fact, when I shoot now, it's just targets. The only gun I have now is a .22 pistol, and we take them, you know, when we're going camping and stuff, and we shoot cans, and I have no interest in shooting, even hunting. I'm just not into it. I can't. Even when I was young, gophers were about the biggest thing I could shoot and not feel too guilty. You know, I tried to go deer hunting a couple times. I couldn't shoot a deer. I did shoot some ducks, but I felt guilty, even though we ate them. So I'm just not a hunter. I don't like hurting animals. You know, I have dogs, I have cats, I love my animals, and I have no interest in hurting any animals. So it's a part of me, and my dad used to get really mad at us for shooting gophers. He was this kind-hearted, gentle man. He just never understood, why would you just shoot gophers? I'm like, well, the farmers pay us for it, but it still didn't make any sense to him. So take that for what it is. Hopefully you come back again. As I'm doing this video, I'm debating whether I'm going to post it, but I think I am. You know what? I say it all the time. What you see here is what I am. I don't put on any airs. I'm not putting on an act. It's just who I am. So I'm going to tell stories from my past. Some of them are going to make me look like a jerk, I guess. I don't know. I was a kid, and it was stupid, but nobody got hurt, and it's a fun story that I haven't seen Barry in, probably 40 plus years. Because they moved a few years after that. We probably hung out until he was like 16 or 17 and I was like 18, but haven't seen him in a long time. But if he ever sees this video, if he ever comes across this, I hope you remember it with a smile, my friend. So that's it for tonight. Hope everybody's having a great week. I actually have a more serious video I'm going to go back to on Monday, but tomorrow and Sunday I'll try to do some fun stuff. But I had a guy, so, you know, I've been doing the Mormon videos, and he says anybody that uses the word Mormon must be anti-Mormon. I'm sorry you feel that way, my friend. I'm not. It's just how I was raised. We all called ourselves Mormons then. And I know the church has changed their stance. They don't want to use that name anymore. But, you know, old habits die hard. I am not against that church. I say it all the time. I have a lot of respect for it. I just don't necessarily agree with everything. So anyway, I didn't mean to get a little more serious again. Have a fantastic Friday night. Tack för denna gång, men snackas igen snart. I hope you all have a beautiful Friday night. I hope you hopefully got a laugh out of this video. That's what it was meant to do. It was meant to be lighthearted. Nobody got hurt. It was just kids being kids. You know, we do stupid crap when we're kids. And it had a happy ending. It had a fun story that we told for years. So I will talk to you all soon again. I hope you have a great night. Peace. Love.